Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with the reveal of the Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month card kit for December 2018. And the theme is Animals in the Arctic, and it is absolutely adorable. I'm going to be making 4 cards from sketches that they provide. You can download them off of the website at www.scrappingforless.com, along with the ingredient sheet on what you're going to get. So for this first card, I'm actually using Collection 1, and I'm using Sketch 4 from the ones that were provided. In this kit, you're going to receive Winter Skies by Scrapping for Less. The paper is absolutely beautiful. The stamp is Bear Hugs by Sunny Studio. Polar Bear Decoupage Paper by Craft Consortium. Purple Organza Ribbon. You're going to receive sequins from Buttons Galore, and as the extra embellishment in this collection, you're going to receive 2 6x6 pieces of paper from Alexandra Renke, and it's kind of like a paint splatter kind of look for the paper that I received. It's really pretty paper as well. So I'm simply following the sketch on this. 3 of the 4 cards I'm making today are A2 size, standard A2 size cards, which is 5.5 by 4.25. So I start out by looking at the sketch and cutting out my pieces that I'm going to end up using. Here I am using the travel platform to stamp my sentiment for the card because I wanted to make sure that I didn't smudge it. I did end up using a piece of vellum for it, so I wanted to make sure that it was, I didn't end up smudging it as I was trying to do it. I wanted to make sure that the sentiment, since they are individual words, was not broken up, and that it ended up looking proper and kind of where they were supposed to be. So after I get through with this, I get the stamp that I had already pre-stamped. I used Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp these images. And then I get some Copics out and I do some coloring with them. And since this is a polar bear, there's not a whole lot of coloring with them. So I just did a purple scarf and I used some cool grays just to kind of give it some highlighting around some areas for the polar bear. Now the candy canes, I decided I had a couple different ideas. I was going to put multiple ones on there, but I ended up just using 3 of them. But I decided to use the purples for the candy canes as well, and instead of kind of putting the colors and blending them together, I just used the 3 different tones that I had pulled out on 3 different candy canes, and so it kind of gave it a little bit of variance for those. I go to my scan and cut, and that's how I cut those out so quickly, and then I just kind of get ready to piece my card together. And like I said, this paper is absolutely gorgeous, and I really love the colors of this kit. They're just wintry, cool, beautiful colors, the purples and the blues and the fuchsia looking colors. So I actually cut out a circle that I was going to use in there, and then I decided not to after I was kind of putting it together. I thought it was kind of cute with the pattern in the back of that circle. So that's what I end up doing with that. And I did want to put the sentiment strip on there before I put my polar bear, just because I wanted him to lay properly on there. I kind of wanted it to look like he was sitting on that. And then for those 3 candy canes that I ended up doing, I glued them together, and then I glued them kind of by the ends so it kind of fanned out, and then I put them in his hand. I added a couple of sequins to this, and that is the end of this card. Like I said, I really think it turned out super cute, and I loved how it came out. I think the colors, like I said, just really kind of mesh together really well. So that's my first card that I made with the Scrapping for Less 2018 December Flavor of the Month card kit. Now the next one I am going to do is Sketch 2, and I'm using Collection 2. The ingredients that are included with this collection is Chill by Scrapping for Less, which is the paper. The stamp is Penguin with a Mug by Stamping Bella. Cocoa mug shaker and a cocoa mug card, so you can actually make a shaker card with that cocoa mug and the card. And then sequins by Buttons Galore. So for this stamped image, I wanted to kind of give him some different little colors that were going on there, and I wanted to still look cohesive with the papers and the coloring and everything. So I kind of left it the blues. These are kind of turquoisey or teal colors, and I used the pinks for the mug, and then I used the purples for part of the hat as well. And I think that ended up turning out really cute. I used some cool grays and some warm grays to do some of the shading in areas for the marshmallows. And then, like I said, the purples and the teals I think worked really well together with the colors and then with the paper as well. I kept this card pretty simple. Now this is the one card that I did not make a standard A2 size card. I made this card 5.5 inches square. So what I ended up doing was taking one 110-pound Nina piece of Nina cardstock and cutting it on the short end, so the 8 inches, I made it 5.5 inches. And then because it's 11 inches long, I simply folded it, so that made the 5.5 square. Then with the papers were the grays, those cool looking grays, and I just picked out some pieces of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to use it. So I was just kind of figuring out what I was going to do and how I was going to make it and what patterns I wanted to use with it as I was kind of working there with the sketch next to me. I just kept kind of looking and saying, okay. I decided to keep this with a lot of white on it, and anybody who has seen any of my cards, I rarely do cards that have a lot of white on it. I don't know why. I have some type of aversion to that for whatever reason. But I really liked this card and I loved how it turned out. And I love when I see really clean and simple cards, and I think they're great when I look at them. But then when I try to make them, I think it looks like there's something missing, or I don't know exactly. It just, for me, I don't know. I just don't think it looks right when I do it, but when other people do it, it can look beautiful. So, but like I said, since these papers were in those gray, cool gray tones, and the purple and the teal and the turquoise and the pink just kind of really worked well together, I think, with the colors. So there I was just kind of layering everything up and figuring out how it was all supposed to go. And I am just going to cut off those edges, and then the sentiment I used, that was part of the sentiment stamp that says celebrate the season. So that is my, oh, I forgot I added a few sequins on there that were part of the kit. And in these sequins you have heart shapes, and I thought the heart shapes were really cute, so I added a couple in the center of the kind of like strips on the top right hand corner and the bottom left hand corner. You had the 3 embellishments from the sketch, and so I added the heart in the middle of the 2 sets of them. And then I did add a couple other sequins in the circle include with the penguin, mainly because the marker dripped onto the card right above the cup, and so I wanted to cover that up, and I used a sequin to do that. So that is my second card from this kit. And now on to the third card. Now I did not use the stamps for the next 2 that came with the collections, not because they weren't absolutely adorable, and the stamp set that was in the banana split level kit is absolutely adorable, but this kit just has so much stuff to do. I wanted to try different things. Like, it came with a penguin die in the banana split level. So let me tell you, in the banana split level, you also receive a glitter pen in various colors, which I got a dark blue, winter Tree Stencil by Kaiser Craft, Penguin Die by Yvonne Creations, and a stamp, Arctic Sentiments by Scrapping for Less. Like I said, all of the stuff is super cute, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do with all the different things, but I wanted to try some different things. So in the third collection, I used Sketch 3, and the ingredients for that are Frosty by Pink and Main is the paper. The stamp is Winter Pales by Pink and Main. There are included some blue rhinestones, a snowflake die, and then sequins by Buttons Galore. So like I said, I did end up using the third collection with the papers and everything, but then I used the glitter pen and the penguin die. I don't work a lot with dies usually. I mean, other than to die cut a shape or something that I need for a card, but where you're actually piecing something together. So I thought this was going to be kind of interesting and fun. What I did was I cut it out in white and I cut it out in black, and then I colored the white pieces, the colors that I wanted the penguin to be, obviously black and white. So, and then the black pieces that I had cut out, I added to the die pieces, so those didn't have to be colored because they were already black. Like I said, I thought it was really cute. It was kind of cool to work with them like that. Like I said, I don't do a lot of it, and that's one of the reasons why I love this kit, because I get to try a lot of things that I wouldn't normally do, and it's not something that I would normally buy myself, but it's definitely something that I enjoyed doing, and I'm glad that I got to try it out. And then, like I said, after I had colored all the pieces, I just kind of stuck them all inside in all of the areas where they were supposed to be. And this is after I had cut out all of the pieces that went along with the sketch. And, you know, I picked out the pattern papers and that type of thing. So after I was all done putting the little penguin all together, I did not color his hat a different color, and I was going back and forth on what I thought I wanted to do with it. So I ended up using that glitter marker. I thought it would kind of be a perfect time to try it out and use it. The sentiment was actually from the Arctic Sentiments by Scrapping for Less that was also in the banana split level. And I had cut out a circle and I was going to use it on, I'm not sure which card, but I was going to use it on a different card, and then I decided not to. So I had that. And then what I did with it, with the entire card at the end, was I used some glitter spray, or glitter mist, sparkle mist, shimmer mist. There we go. I knew I'd get it eventually. And I sprayed the entire card down, which I thought it went well because the glitter pen with the hat had the glitter in it as well. And then I did use some rhinestones that were part of those blue rhinestones that were part of this collection. So there you see I go back and I color the entire hat with that blue marker. And I think that just added a little bit more to it and gave it a little more definition. And then I also ended up outlining some of the areas all around the penguin, just again to kind of give it some more definition, because I thought it was a little plain the way I had left it. I used my Crop-A-Dile just to kind of crop those edges. I don't know, for whatever reason it was bothering me that they weren't, and I think it looks better with the cropped edges, but what can I say? That's just me. So after I pieced it all together, I wanted to use the snowflake as that kind of part in the where I ended up putting the sentiment, "You're so cool," but I end up not using the snowflake and using that sentiment. I also used the Spectrum Noir glitter pen on that sentiment, but like I said, then I end up going back and spraying the entire card with the shimmer spray to give the entire thing kind of that sparkly look. And that is card 3. That was where I was spraying it. I spray it into my garbage can so I don't get shimmer spray everywhere throughout my craft room. So again, that's card 3. I had a lot of fun with this one, and like I said, it was kind of cool using a die. And then I did end up using a snowflake, a couple snowflakes from the sequin set that came with that one. So now my last card is from Sketch 1, and it is Collection 4. And what is included with Collection 4 is Arctic Snowfall by LDRS paper. The stamp is Arctic Animals by LDRS, and again, like I said, I did not end up using the stamp. White Snowflakes by Jolie were included with this. Snowflake Garland by Doris was included with this, and then Sequins by Scrapping for Less. So I decided I wanted to make a shaker card, and I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. And then after I kind of looked at the sketch, I was like, oh wow, that's going to be a big shaker card. And I could have made it smaller. I realized that because I ended up making it way bigger than I really wanted to, but it ended up working out fine. And then I just use a piece of acetate to put in the front of that. I think if I would go back, I would probably use some darker colors for the banners because it kind of gets lost in some of the pattern on the pattern paper. But I still really liked how the card turned out because I used that darker pattern paper underneath for the backing of the shaker card, and that has a bunch of snowflakes in it and whatnot. And again, like I said, this is just an A2 size card that I end up making with this. The other thing that I do is I take out the snowflake garland and I kind of cut the pieces off of the snowflakes and I add that into the shaker as well. Especially since the shaker portion of this was so large, I wanted to kind of cover some more of the background with using some other things on there because, like I said, it was so large. So I used that entire bag of sequins in the shaker card, and I was having some trouble getting all of the little pieces out of there. But then, like I said, I ended up taking that garland, and I think that was kind of a cute idea. I used the smaller pieces, of course, which I really think I probably could have used the larger pieces, but I think, like I said, that ended up working out well. And then when I went back and like I said, I was cutting out the banners for the back end of that, I probably would have used, like I said, looking at it after I finished with it, a little bit darker pieces, but when I have it in my hand, I like how it turned out and I like how it looks. So I think it's just maybe in the video it looks a little lighter or a little less when you're looking at it there. Now, one of the other things that's really cool about this kit is that all of the paper that you receive for your cardstock is My Favorite Things and Nina Smooth White Solar Crust cardstock, 110 pounds. You get 2 pieces of that. And then you get Grapesicle, Grape Jelly, Packing Chip Craft. It's a muddled gray color. Pure White, Snow Cone, and Bubblegum were all of the pieces from My Favorite Things that you got. So you get really good paper with this kit along with everything else. And you can see there that adorable stamp set that is sitting there. So that is super cute, and I can't wait to make some cards with those. And then that's where I had that sentiment stamp out from the Banana Split level, the Scrapping for Less Arctic Sentiments stamp set where I was using the You're So Cool stamp sentiment. I think it's really cute because the top of the cool has like snow over the top of it, so it gives it kind of a cute look. And that's my 4th card, so I hope everybody enjoyed it. Jump over to Scrapping for Less to grab your kit. I think this one's going to sell out pretty quickly, so I would definitely think about jumping over there if you want one. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.